Or will we then be resigned to that as a big hamstring to market performance because the left did not let the UPA do a lot of things and the market has memories of that?
Yeah, there may be some anchoring here because you've had an immediate experience which was probably not as good, and therefore the market may hesitate. The portfolios, as Vallabh rightly points out, are very important. So who gets what portfolio? I think that will be more predictable under a UPA left combination. So we'll know in advance that these are the gentlemen who are going to run these portfolios. So I think the market will look forward for more deliberate action, more concrete steps than just a government formation before it actually decides to impose faith in such a government. So I think it may take time for the market to actually establish direction after that.
But would that matter? Because regardless of portfolios, the left did not let the UPA government do too much over 5 years. I mean, would it have mattered if the ministries were different? I mean, Chidambaram was finance minister. What could he do with the left?
No, that's precisely my point, that we will know that these are the portfolios. So the market is not going to establish faith immediately. It will wait for conservative action from the government, some steps that it takes to show that it can do it differently from last time. And the environment is different. It's not 2004. In 2004, we were already on a growth path. The global economy was booming. It was a very different environment, and even in that scenario, when the UPA formed government with the left, the market was knocked down very badly. So it may not get knocked down that badly this time, but I think it will take time for it to establish a base and then move forward.
Vallabh, I want to ask you this question because it's a material question which a lot of people are pondering over today. Of which is the lesser devil? Is it a government supported by the left, which we have seen off in the last 5 years, which could not do much, where the problem is a policy problem, it's not a stability problem. This government lasted with the left for 5 years. Or is it a government which does not have the left, but has factions like Jayalalitha and Mayawati, which might make it inherently unstable and therefore not last the whole distance? What does the market worry about more, instability or policy inaction?
It's difficult to say one or the other. Because, for example, the Vajpayee government lasted 13 months, but it started to act. I think there are three scenarios, where one is non-governance, misgovernance, and complete, you don't know what to make of it, complete anarchy. And when I say non-governance, I don't mean anarchy, but nothing will happen. A left and Congress combination where you were alluding that nothing much could be done. That kind of scenario I'm talking about. And therefore, in my mind, I would say that I don't see great governance, the kind of decision making that Rakesh is talking about and what is required. Suppose it does not. It's stupid to think that something like that may emerge, and I'll be happy to be surprised. If you have Congress and the left, it gives us stability. It may give us non-governance or no progress, but it gives us stability. Even that stability in the current context is probably worse than a government that attempts to do something. As Rhythm was saying, and as I said in my opening remarks, that we must put the whole of last decade in perspective. I think India was very fortuitous in benefiting from low interest regime that came into being in the world. It came at the right time. Rising commodity prices came at the same time. We had good combination of Narasimha Rao, the two RBI governors, a D.R. Mehta, followed by a Vajpayee. That a lot got done. Nothing like that seems visible today. And therefore, only thing that has changed in India over the last 15, 16 years is really the confidence of the Indian entrepreneur, who now believes that he can right size, he can make a quality product, he can export, a lot of things that were not there in the late 90s. But we have seen that in the last 2 years, this entrepreneur got carried away. They've done things which didn't seem likely even as recently as 2005 or 6, that somebody will go and make a huge acquisition or borrow and so on and so forth.
Habil Khorakiwala is what you're talking about.
Sorry?
Habil Khorakiwala is what you're talking about.
Well, Ludian,
please carry on.
I think, therefore, we need a steady hand at this point of time for more than one reason. So if you had someone who says, all right, I'm doing my best as a Prime Minister, he says, I'm ready to resign if my way is not given, if it is a reasonable way. I think that would be a lot better than a government which just lasts 5 years.
So you're saying even a government which does not last the whole distance but does a lot for whatever period it can is better than a government for 5 years which does nothing?
Because I'll tell you what, The nation is fed up of this non-issues election. A government that starts doing something, and I'll give you an example. In Japan, the previous Fujimori, I think, was the prime minister, the bachelor with cute hair. There was the decision was, whether to open the post office savings accounts and so on. He wanted to do a big reform on it. He tested the politics. His government fell. He came back to power. It's very similar to Vajpayee's case. So I think we need to move to the agenda of nation building again. And therefore a government that will start talking that language after 26/11, after the difficulties that the world is facing or the nation is sensing about the world, anyone who will start talking nation building agenda, whatever be the combination, has a good chance to come back.
Rakesh, do you agree with that?
All of them in their own way are saying we are building the nation. Who says? They are not saying we are. They are all, Mayawati is also building UP here. Right? So, I don't know how well, one problem all of them have is it's a divided house. Right? So then I want to go back to your earlier question. See, a lot of people are concerned what's going to happen after markets, after May 16th. I'll give you my prediction. I said go on a holiday from May 15th to May 30th.
What do you do with your trade before May 15th?
Hear me out. We are in one of the worst recessions the world has ever seen, but the markets have shown some kind of a bounce back. I think technically the Indian markets are showing surprising strength, right? So I think most people don't want to participate in this rally because elections mein kya hoga.
Correct.
Right? So that means I have a girlfriend now, I don't want to date her because meri dusri biwi aane wali hai. Samjha na? Arey abhi jo hai samne. So the fact remains that markets are rallying. People are not participating in it because they are fearing an event which is going to take place 1.5 months later. I think markets will rally before May 16. On May 16, don't have any positions. Go for a holiday. Right? I'm not suggesting you buy. It's my prediction of the market. I reserve the right to be wrong. I have a disclosure to make. I am long the market and I have interest in it going up. Right? So therefore my idea is, and what happens, I have seen, whenever a market has an event which is uncertain, if the expected outcome is favorable prior to that event, markets generally go up after the event. Like, what happened in 2004, the surprise was markets were expecting the NDA to come back. Here now, day by day, the opinion is forming that the UPA will not come back. All the pundits talked just now. The NDA will not come back. You're talking about 125 seats for them. So I think market, what it has to do, it will do before May 15th. May 16th to May 30th will be the highest volatility. Right? So stay away. And because we are approaching an uncertain event with a bearish, with opinion of a bearish outcome, I will not be short that day.
Fair
and I don't know, I could change my opinion. I reserve the right.
No, don't just...
And another thing also, I have one wish list. That was whatever government comes in power, please on 1st April 2010, please introduce the GST. It is the most needed reform in our taxation system. And I think it can really take up our revenue collections. And the complete groundwork has been done. And every state minister is interested because it takes up his revenue. So if I wish one thing from this government, haath jod ke for this country, was please, let's have the GST on April 1st.
Fair enough.